what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, welcome everybody to the U.S. Legends Open Series live right here from WeatherTech Laguna Seca here in Monterey, California. I'm Ryan Ezel from Evolution Racing Network, and always by my side, David Edwards. David, how we doing this week?
Oh man, doing great. Glad to be out here on the West Coast and taking some racing out here at WeatherTech, man. This should be a good one.
Oh, you ain't lying. As we're underway in qualifying, we'll throw up the qualifying grid right now, show you how many. We've only got two drivers that have taken time thus far, Nolan Potter and Harold Watkins. Tonight's going to be exciting. We got 10 minutes of qualifying, 2 laps. So really curious to see how these guys adapt from these consistent oval tracks that we have been at for 125 laps. It seems like every week we've been there. We did go to Lime Rock for one right and left-hander, and tonight we're doing the same thing here at Laguna Seca. So I'm really curious to see how these guys adapt, or do we see the same guys like what we're seeing on the screen right now? Ryan Bean and Will Brinkley and those guys running up front lap after lap. David, what do you think?
I mean, I think, like you always know, the cream rises to the top here in these kind of tracks, and with the field we've got here, you know, even if you're Ryan Bean, you're Nolan Potters have to start in the back, then they're still going to be at the front within a couple laps. It's just going to be how quick can they get there.
Oh, absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more. You know, these guys have to put down a strategy that's going to be unique to themselves. You know, we have seen so many different strategies play out. We've seen the ones that have stayed out an entire race on the same tires. We've seen ones that try to make a late pit stop to get tires and go back out and make it through the field. So there has been a million different strategies play out, and they've worked in their own right. Just depends, you know, it's all about, you got to have a little bit of lady luck on your side, David.
Yeah. I mean, to each their own. You know, guys have been swinging for the fences some weeks and took some strategy calls that, you know, maybe we questioned at the time and turned around and, you know, they had us eating our words because we were talking to them in victory lane. So, you know, everybody's got their own strategy, their own race style. So just, you know, here it's going to see it really come out to driver and how they play it out throughout the race with 25 laps around this circuit.
Yeah, let's actually take a look while these guys are doing their qualifying at the race details here. You got 25 laps here at the WeatherTech Laguna Seca Raceway. You know, it's a nice 71 degrees, 82% humidity, clear skies, a little bit of wind, but it's a 2.23 mile track here in Monterey, California. It's going to be hot. I think it's going to be a little slick. I think tire management in these cars isn't nowhere near as a hard press factor as it is in a 3,500 pound stock car. But these guys are going to have to manage their tires with all these right and left-handed turns.
Oh, for sure. They're going to have to manage the brakes as well. and these guys are used to being on the brake, but here with the rights and the lefts and the speeds they're going to be carrying down some of these straightaways, brakes may come into question here late too as well.
Yeah, you're probably not too far off from that, as we see that we have got four for the drivers, and it looks like we're going to have somewhere around 11 to 12 drivers take the grid tonight. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to talk about. They're going to be a little unique to what this league has done up to this point. They're going to be they have done 0 fast repairs all season long, but tonight they'll actually be doing 1 fast repair since it's a road course and there's only local caution. So that what that means is you will not see a yellow flag where it re-racks and restacks the field like you have in the last 7 weeks. So we are past our halfway point. This is race number 8. It starts the back half of the season here at the U.S. Legends Open Series, and it's going to be really interesting to see if these guys can put the same strategy they do at the oval tracks down here at Laguna Seca with all these elevation changes and a lot of these hairpin turns.
Yeah, the left and right worked great for some of these guys, and some of these guys struggled when we went to Lime Rock. So another key point too that I'm noticing is, if these guys exceed track limits or have duck a tire off in the wrong spot, their lap time's not going to count. I think that's what happened to our points leader Ryan Bean. I've seen him out there, and then also see he hasn't registered a time yet. So I'm wondering if maybe he ran it a little wide and got exceeded track limits, so his time didn't count.
Yeah, we've only actually got 4 of the drivers that have taken time. That doesn't mean that we've only had 4 drivers on the track. We've seen several other drivers that have just not been able to. It's so sensitive here in the sim to do that. So we will be doing an interview tonight, just like what you see right there. Let me back up for a second. See Jerry Culver get a little off track. Didn't throw him off too bad, but because that was registered on the sim, that right there will not allow him to take that lap as time. So that is a lot of wasted effort out there to just have 1 tire off the track, much less 2.
Yeah, and like you said, all it takes is 1. 1 run wide, 1 clip the corner too close, and it negates an entire minute and 45 seconds of that lap.
That's right.
It's really hard pressing. These guys got to be careful, ducking tires off in this dust and sand that, you do that while you're entering a corner, Xing the corner under power, and around the car is going to go.
That's right. Well, let's sit here and let's see if we can get Mr. Dick Little himself down here. It looks like we don't have any other drivers taking time. Let's see if we can't get him in and have a word with him here. Old Dick Little. This is Ryan and David up in the ERM booth. You got a copy?
Gentlemen. What a fine Monday evening we have upon us.
Boy, you have not lied, my friend. Well, it looks like you're going to be taking the pole tonight. We don't want to keep you too long because we know that you guys are going to be doing a standing start tonight. So, real quick, tell us about what you think about the race.
I have so many laps around Laguna Seca in Gran Turismo that it is ingrained into my skull. There's probably some useful knowledge that would be better, but Laguna Seca is like one of my favorite places. However, I think we got to watch out for old Bean Boy. I think he's going to be marching his way through the field, so I'm hoping there's a little bit of calamity there, so that way I can stay out front and keep the car clean.
Well, brother, we'll let you get after it. Hopefully we get an opportunity to talk with you at the end of the race tonight. Just want to say good luck and give that old Dick Little paint a good homage tonight. All right, brother?
All right, appreciate it. Hey, if you guys want to pull me in the booth, I'll let you guys know, like, when we come up to one of these right-hand turns, I could do a little, hey, there's oh, now they're just chatting at me. They're giving me hell over the radio.
There you go. All right, guys, I'll let you get back. Well, that's your pole sitter right there, Andrew Little, also known as Dick Little. He'll be taking the pole tonight. Well, while we're waiting for these guys to grid up, let's take a look at the starting grid. David, why don't you get us kicked off here?
Starting on pole, we just spoke with him. Andrew Little starting second, Nolan Potter. Third, Harold Watkins. Fourth, Mike Martino. Fifth, Rusty Modesty as they're taking the green. And sixth is our points leader, Ryan Bean.
Wow, they are taking off. And second,
and look who touched the front.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Like we didn't see that coming. That's what we're afraid of tonight. Hope everybody got to see that starting grid because these guys just shot out of a cannon. 25 laps here at Laguna Seca, and look who is out front. No surprise there, Nolan Potter, a previous winner here in the U.S. Legends Open Series. Dick Little, your post sitter, right behind him, and then right behind him, the man on a mission with 3 wins, Ryan Bean.
Yeah, these guys, like you said, shot out of a cannon real quick and all got down single file in a hurry down into turn 1. But now you see Ryan peeking on the outside of Andrew going into turn 6, I believe, there as they start climbing the hill.
Man, I tell you, David, is this the track? I haven't done a ton of racing at this track. Oh, we've got contact between the pole sitter and the 28 of Ryan Bean. You saw it live here on ERN, and that is going to cost. Remember, there is no cautions here tonight, which means this field will not stop. So if you slide off track or make contact with somebody, you got to get it straightened back around, throw it down in gear, and go. What did you see happen there, David?
They just touched wheels, and I didn't get a good view of it, but it looks like they just touched wheels and sent Ryan around. Looks like they all, Andrew got the wall head on there a little bit, but everybody was able to collect it up. And I mean, really, they only lost a few spots as it was.
It's impressive. Well, let's go back to the ERM booth real quick and take a quick look at exactly what happened. Watch that blue 68 and orange and black 28 as they come up there at that 3 mark. Just a little, being open wheel series like that, just a little touch, and they both make contact and go spinning. It doesn't look like it's hurt too much of Ryan Bean's speed. Little, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but like we said tonight, of all nights to have a fast repair, tonight's it. So, maybe if he has to stop, he may have to stop there and get that fixed and be able to make it back up. But, I mean, even though it's such a big track, you're going to lose a lot of time here stopping. So he may just have to grit it out and take what he can get.
Yeah, and you're not probably going to go a lap down if you're close enough to that lead pack to go in and do a pit stop. I don't know. You might. It just depends because the lap times here, doing a minute 47, minute 50 as you see the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. go around. They could potentially come in, make a pit stop, and get back out, but they would have to ensure that the rest of the field did the exact same thing. Because surely somebody's going to be able to go 25 laps without wrecking, and they would be out front by a large margin.
Yeah, you're just, you're not so much worried about losing the lap as just, track position as it be. You're going to be, as Senior looked like he lost it there and collected Junior and Michael Martino.
That is Fitzpatrick on Fitzpatrick crime right there, brother.
And Martino was just an innocent bystander.
He's like, look, I don't want nothing to do with y'all's family differences here. And
But,
they get back up to speed.
Everybody got it straightened back out and back up to speed.
And Ryan Bean pressuring the 17 of Kevin Zapladell right there. That's Ryan's in a 4th spot. Kevin is in the 3rd position. But right now, it looks like Nolan Potter has got a 2.1 second lead over the 2nd place of Rusty Modesty, the league owner. And you'll take a look up there on your screen, folks. You got a little icon down in your bottom left, Potter County Diggers. That's your title sponsor for the U.S. Legends Open Series. These guys right here do a lot to try and help out this league, and couldn't be happier to have them on board. But man, this has been a really fun race. It really has, and I'm shocked that I've seen the people in the back that I have, and I've seen the people up front that I have. It's been been a little different.
Yeah, we're only 2 laps in. I mean, they're just now on lap 3 of 25. So I mean, if we've got this much action within the first 2 laps, I can only imagine what it's going to be here in another 10.
That's exactly right. Now, we've had a few people go off track. We've had both the Fitzpatricks, Mike Martino, Jerry Culver, Ryan Bean, and Dick Little. But it looks like everybody is currently running. We do have, if we can get a shot of this right here, it doesn't look like he took the grid, but we did have a newcomer tonight by the name of Noah Helsop. Don't know if he was able to take the grid or not, but we'll have to see if he ends up coming. But right now, it's all the Nolan Potter show. But Rusty Modesty has made up over a second in the last lap, David.
Yeah, he's slowly running down, and I look at the timing and scoring, and I see that Bean's gotten around the 17 of Zabladil, and Andrew has gotten around the 22 of Harold Watkins. So even though after their little dust up, those two are marching their way back to the front.
Yeah, and they are. And Ryan Bean's like he is on rails, a man on a mission right here. And we kind of talk about current point standings. Ryan Bean is your points leader with 3 wins. Will Brinkley being second in the points. Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. in that red 48 car, third in points. Junior right behind him, fourth and fifth, rounding out your top 5 in points. Harold Rothery halfway through the season, 7 of 14 races, and it looks like we may have had a little bit of a dust up again. Let's go back and take a look at the replay booth. Just getting notifications, kind of crazy with no cautions. You got to be looking everywhere. We've got a camera crew all over this track, and we see people. Got both Fitzpatricks and possibly Jerry Culver here. Take a look at him and see if he had an incident as well. Yeah, just locked that right there. I think is a victim of exactly what you were talking about in pre-race, David, which is too much heat in the brakes.
Yeah, it looks like he just locked it up there, and it just did one of those slow spins, and the rear end come around on him. But I mean, that one screenshot you seen Junior off in the corkscrew there, you know, that's one of the most notorious and most famous pieces and places on this track is that corkscrew. As we see Andrew coming into the pits here, looks like.
Yeah, it does. And if you take a look at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see a pit stop ticker here at ERN. We monitor it all. And anytime a driver goes on a pit road, it will notify you and let you know how long they've been sitting there, whether it's for a drive-through penalty or for service. But it looks like Andrew Little be bringing that car to service. And no, he will not be taking tires. It looks like he's getting that quick fix, the one allotted quick fix that he is given for this race. I think his car was just too slow, and he was wanting to get that baby repaired.
Yeah, he may have had some handling issues there. I mean, he smacked the wall pretty good with the front end. It may have knocked the toe out just slightly and affected the handle on that car, and obviously it was bad enough where he decided he needed to get it fixed.
Yep, and I am getting word here we may have had another little incident. Let's go take a look. The 17 of Kevin Zabladell, who was making up good time, running 4th place behind Ryan Bean, and just comes through and gets a little too loose. Does a great job of keeping it off the wall. So we'll see right there, Harold Watkins gets around him. So that was a great job of saving that one. And possibly Bob Fitzpatrick Jr., his night goes from bad to worse as he has another little dust up. You know, sometimes
he's missing more front panels than he was last time.
Sometimes it's just not your race, brother. But up front, we still got the battle right here. That's the 34 of Nolan Potter and the 6 of Rusty Modesty. Both of them doing a great job.
Oh, yeah, if you look off in the distance there and that one camera shot coming down the front straightaway, that 28 of Beans creeping slowly into the picture.
Yes, he is. And he is wasting no time making up his little incident that he had with Dick Little at the beginning. But right now, it looks like Rusty Modesty is putting on the pressure. He is just waiting. And this is one of those positions, though, David, I would rather be in second place than first. Because you can sit there and anticipate when somebody else is going to make a mistake or run a line that they're not when you know it's going to benefit you. But to be in the front and have to drive out of your mirror and hit all your marks just perfect, it's nerve-wracking, as you see right there.
Yeah, Rusty got the run there on the inside coming up the hill. And you can see the corners before that Nolan was getting loose. You know, he was fighting that wheel left and right on the exit. And Rusty just capitalized and you know, dove to the inside there as they come up the hill and slowing down now for the corkscrew. Just took advantage of Nolan just overdriving.
Yeah,
I tell you who's making it up a lot of time out of there. Yeah, see, he got loose there. Making up a lot of time on those two. It was a quick battle, but it was just enough. As Ryan Bean, he's now within under 3 seconds of this lead group.
As you see in the screen there, it didn't take long for the camera to find him. We'll kind of show you. Let's go to the Goodyear blimp cam here and show you the distance. You see all three of your podium drivers as they are right there in the same screenshot. You do have one lap car right there in front of Ryan Bean, but that black and orange is your third place finisher. And then you'll see just shortly ahead, there's your first and second place drivers as they are 19 laps to go here at WeatherTech. But Ryan Bean is hunting them down, brother. He's got within the leader 2.2 seconds.
Yeah, he's coming in a hurry. I mean, Andrew had talked about in the pre-race when we had him interviewed that, he's hoping for the dust up to put Ryan back there, but I don't think he was counting on being in that dust up.
No, I don't think he was. In fact, let's go take a look and see where he's at. It's being scored 7th position. And let's see, he is quite a ways back. You're talking 10 seconds back just from 6th position, the 98 of Kevin Dowd.
Yeah, I got time in the score. I'm showing about 38 seconds behind the leader, Rusty Modesty. So, he's banking on these guys having issues or these guys needing to pit in order to take advantage of that. But I'm not sure if that's in anybody's wheelhouse as Nolan cuts the corner there through the corkscrew.
That's going to cost him some time and a lot of momentum on that part of the track. And that allows the 28 of Ryan Bean to get around him. Now, Nolan's quick to get maybe shifted down and get back in the throttle. So hopefully you won't lose too much time. But you got all three of your top three drivers right there in this race within the same line, within 3 seconds of each other. So it's still a long race. We've only completed 7 laps in this race out of 25.
Yeah, these guys still got a long way to go. And at this point, everybody's settled in. Everybody's kind of figured out what they've got. Now it's a mental game and just repetition, muscle memory of how many, just hitting the turns, hitting the braking points, getting back in the gas, and just, what exactly do you have with your setup? Do you have the short run or do you have the long run? So.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see really if, I didn't think to ask what the fuel run was. I think they could probably stretch a majority of this race on the single fuel run. But really, is anybody going to push it? And you know what they say about road courses, the number one thing is keep it on the track. Keep it on the pavement. If you can keep all 4 tires in the asphalt, keep it within the race course, within the driving line, you're going to be ahead of 80% of the rest of the field, because 25 laps here may not seem like a long time, but 2.23 miles per lap, anything can happen. Just getting 2 tires barely off the course and hitting a little bit of that sand will cause these cars that are so high horsepower, low weight ratio, to get them way loose, and you'll be spinning in no time.
Yeah, I mean, like you said it best. If you can keep all 4 tires on the track, keep the fenders on it, keep it pointed in the right direction, lap in and lap out, you're going to finish. You're going to come away with a great finish, regardless of how you run or how you felt like you run. As you see in this shot here, Ryan's cut the lead down to about 1 second on Rusty.
I know Rusty loves road coursing. They do a lot of GT3 IMSA style racing and all kinds of different disciplines. And you see him get a little loose right there. And I think that is a product of being the leader and the one being chased versus the one doing the hunting. Because you have to not only hit your marks spot on every time, but as soon as you make a mistake, somebody else is there to capitalize on it.
Yeah, and he compounded that mistake there coming out of the previous corner as he hung it out and was on the rumble strip still loose, and Ryan pulled right to his bumper.
They're going to get side by side, and Ryan Bean's going to get the inside run, but Rusty Modest will be set up for the long haul because they'll be having a right-handed turn right up here. But I don't know if he's going to have the speed to get there. That is the exact point where the 28 and the 68 had their dust up at the beginning of the race, and Rusty Modesty losing it there, getting loose, getting out into the gravel trap. He does a great job of keeping it off the wall. But, man, it is so hard when you get deep into those sand and gravel traps to get back onto the asphalt, throw it down in gear, and go.
Oh, yeah, and then you get in those things, they just grab you and just never want to let you go. And, it looked like he did what he could there to hold on to the outside. He hung it out to dry, so to say, just trying to hold on to keep Ryan at bay. But, just a little bit too much speed there, and he got a little wide.
Yes, he did. Well, let's real quickly before we take a commercial break, let's go through the field. Brought to you by Fox Hills Lawn Care, another great sponsor of the U.S. Legends Open Series, Northeast PA's #1 landscape company. Check them out on Facebook, Fox Hills Lawn Care. Starting with your leader currently, we have Ryan Bean in the 28, hometown from Miami, Florida. He has been running up here as, oh man, that was close, coming up with some lap traffic, but he started up front, got in a dust up, shuffled back, made his back way to the front. David, who do we got in second?
Looks like now Nolan Potter's gotten around Rusty Modesty. Nolan, started out front, led the first couple of laps. Had a little issue there getting off track, but has gathered it back up and now is running a strong second.
That's right. Right behind him, the one we were just talking about, Rusty Modesty, which led a majority of this race up to this point and had Ryan Bean all over his bumper, made one slight mistake about the exact spot you're looking at right now, got out into that sand trap and had to recollect it, but he's on the march, see if he can get back to the front.
Running fourth is Kevin Zabadell in the 17. Pretty quiet race. He had the one loop around there and turn 3 or 4, I believe. But for the most part, kept it on the track, going the right direction. So, he's running right now in a 4th position. And if he can keep this going, he might end up on the podium if something happens to one of our leaders.
That's right. Right behind him, we got the 22 in the Big League 2, Harold Watkins. He's missed a race or two this season. I think he's missed one race, but man, he has been the sleeper. He has had great finishes several times throughout this season. Mr. Consistency, just being up there, being quiet, not getting involved in the dust-ups, but being there when it counts, and having great points week after week.
Yeah, sitting in 6th is Andrew Little in the 68, and our pole sitter. Seen him there in the beginning, getting to have a little contact with Ryan, and he got the short end of that stick with some front end damage. He pitted for it, but he's battling his way back now. He's only still holding strong, about 40 seconds from the leader, but he's rapidly catching the 22 of Harold in 5th. So, you can start picking him off. He's still got 15 to go, plenty of time, and all it takes is one mistake by the guys in front of you, and that can be 4 or 5 positions easily.
That's exactly right. Right behind him in that beautiful all black and gold 98, that's Kevin Dowd. And that Potter County Diggers inspired car, as you see him, he's another guy. Been having good races, had a few incidents up to this point, but man, he's just been having his own race out there by himself, clicking off good laps and waiting for the opportunity to make up another position.
Running 8th is the 3 of Michael Martino. He's currently 1 lap down. We've seen him pointed. He got involved in a little of the Fitzpatrick crime earlier, innocent bystander there, but still battling strong. Runs really good week in and week out. So it's glad to see him having a decent run out here tonight. And it's just maybe one of just victim of circumstance here on these road courses. Just got behind the 8-ball, and it's going to be hard to get back in front of it.
It is, especially with no cautions. Well, next up in 9th position, Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. Has had a little bit of a tough race tonight as well. He's had a couple incidents that he has been involved with, and but doing a solid place, top 10 in 9th position.
And rounding out the top 10 is the 13 of Jerry Culver, currently running 2 laps down. Jerry's just had a rough spell here lately. You hate to see it for him. He's a really good guy, really good racer. Just can't seem to get the monkey off his back. He's had a couple incidents here tonight. Car looks relatively clean, so that's a positive, but just not one of his best tracks, and I hate to see it for him, but hopefully once we get back on the ovals, he'll be right back up front.
Yep, I agree with you more, and I'm sure we've got Sherry Culver, his mom, watching. So hello, Sherry. Glad to have you here tonight. And rounding out our field in the 11th position, Bob Fitzpatrick Jr., which his car is not quite as symmetrical as it was at the beginning of the race as he gets loose right there. And I can't imagine with the damage that car has had that it's that much fun to drive, but he is not letting that get in the way. As soon as that baby spins, it comes to a stop, slam that thing down into second, and let's get rocking. And that is your field.
I believe as we went through the field there, we had an incident with Nolan. I don't
Yeah,
know if the booth got it, but I think I see him showing back in third now. So
let's
we're
go take a
battling
look.
with Rusty.
Oh,
Oh, looked like he might have got a little help there.
yeah, let's go take another look at that from a different angle. Yeah, right there, the 13 was right behind him. Not sure exactly what led up to that. Let's go and check out this. Looks like maybe he had gotten off track a little bit, was getting up to speed. Let's see if this is where it was, or if that was after it was all
I
said
believe
and
that's
done.
after, yeah.
Okay, all right. I
Yeah, that
love
looked
our
very
replay
interesting,
guys.
though.
Yes, it did. I'm going to try from one more angle. I'm going to do something a little unique here. See if we can try. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
there was whether it was intentional or not is irrelevant, but I think there was a little assistance there. And we'll take a look, showing him in third position. 10 seconds back from Rusty Modesty in second, and 22 back from the leader.
Yeah, I believe Jerry kind of helped him ship it off into that corner there a little bit. As we were in the replay booth, looks like Andrew was able to get around the 22 of Harold Watkins to move up into a top 5 now, battling his way back from that earlier incident.
You know, speaking of Nolan Potter, I can't remember if it was at Thompson, Lanier, I can't remember what track we're at, but me and you were sitting there going, hold on, wait a minute. Why are you going into pits with 17 laps to go and everybody else stayed out? Dang near got lapped because he was in getting service. Then he comes out and wins the race. So I think Little may have a similar style strategy. You know, he got in that little spin, a little damage with the wall, but was still maintaining a good speed. He still came to pit road, dropped back to 6th or 7th position, took his quick repair, and now is fighting all over to get into the top 5, potentially top 3.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we question the fuel mileage of these things on this 2.23 mile course. So, I mean, if they have to stop for fuel, then you know he's a genius right now. He's going to come out.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, he could cycle back out, knowing how long it's going to take for these guys to get on pit road and get off. So, we'll just have to wait and see how things play out there.
Let's go take a look at our leader right now, which his car looks nice and clean and doing a great job up here. Been keeping this thing just road racing, especially in these small cars that aren't that nimble and high tech, I guess you could say, the biggest obstacle is to just do every single corner consistently and just hit your marks and be muscle memory, be routine with it. And Ryan Bean's making it, other than that little dust up early, he's making it look easy out there. As he comes out of that corner there, it looks like he's running this track almost flawlessly.
Yeah, he's hitting his marks left and right. You know, braking points, acceleration points. Pretty much minus that one little dust up. He's run a perfect race so far.
Oh, well, let's go take a look. I'm showing that Nolan Potter has gotten back around Rusty Modesty. And let's see if I can take a look. Right here. Oh, Rusty gets off course. Let's go take a look at that and see exactly what took place. Got a little wide and tried to overcorrect. Had to lock her down, come to a stop over in the sand. Whipped it around, and by that time, Nolan Potter made up that 10-second deficit and went around him. But they are now only 3 seconds apart from each other. On this track, Rusty is trying to regain his second place position.
Yeah, and you know that little mix-up there is also bringing the 17 and Kevin Zabadil into the picture, into this battle for second. You know, like we talked about him earlier, he had the one spin, self-spin, and about this portion of the track that Rusty's at. And other than that, I mean, Kevin's had it going the right direction and keeping all 4 tires on the track and keeping the fenders clean.
Well, we are coming to the line with, it'll be 10 to go. Let's take a ride on board with the Red Line Minute, brought to you by Potter County Diggers. As soon as Rusty Modesty comes through these last set of corners here, we're going to go on board with him. We want everybody to crank it up take a look at what it's like to drive through the course here at WeatherTech Laguna Seca. I'm sorry, David, but that looks intense.
Yeah, I mean, just the high speeds, the corners. It's got to be a handful for sure.
Boy, you ain't lying. Well, before we get in trouble, we need to pay some bills here, folks. We'll keep an eye on all the action here on the track and make sure that we bring you anything that happens. We'll go back and show it to you, but we've got to pay some bills and bring you a word from our sponsor, Potter County Diggers.
Casey's calling me over. Says
The story's on it. Who's
I
that?
have done. I got it. I got it. Oh my God, I'm back. Look at this bad boy.
All right, welcome back, folks, to WeatherTech Laguna Seca Raceway here from the U.S. Legends Open Series. And you just heard a word from our premier title sponsor, Potter County Diggers, PA's Northeast Unearthing History Metal Detector Crew. Check them out on YouTube at Potter County Diggers. But right now, it's all about that set. The best battle on the track is for second place. And it's right here between the 6 of Rusty Modesty, league owner, and our favorite Styrofoam Cup, the 34 of Nolan Potter, right ahead of him here. These two have been running relentless for the last 2 laps.
Yeah, Rusty, we've seen him when Nolan got around. Rusty was off the track. I don't know if Nolan's just slowing up a little bit, or Rusty's just finally dropped the hammer and is going for it, because he's made up a lot of ground in a short amount of time, and he's still coming quick.
Yes, he is. And not only that, you might as well, unless this man wrecks or decides to pull over and have a bologna sandwich and a bag of Lay's and a tab, this guy's checked out. Ryan Bean, 28, 32 second lead. Now, it's never say never, right? I get that. I get it. But this guy has been just smooth as butter all season long. So we'll come back to watching this guy dominate the field, but right now I want to keep an eye on this second place battle right here between 34 and the 6. These guys are putting on a show.
Yeah, and as you watch them here, a couple of different lines, especially coming out of turn 11, coming down the straightaway, if we ride along here. I think last time, a couple times I've seen Nolan's kind of run, as Rusty's coming into pit here.
Whoa, I wonder what this is all about here. We'll watch him come in. Let's take a little bit of a different angle here. You see the sirens there. That is pit road is being accessed. Not quite sure what this is. You got Mike Martino up front, but this may be the fuel strategy that we were wondering about at the beginning of the race, David.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this really brings in the question of maybe they can't make it
No tires.
all the way.
Yeah, he's not taking tires. Looks like he's taking his quick repair and taking his Sunoco fuel, and he is out of the pit box. Good stop by the 6 of Rusty Modesty. So now we're going to have to keep a close eye on everybody else, because if Rusty doesn't think you can make it, surely nobody can, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's odd there. So
No.
that's wasn't expecting that one for sure.
No. No, it looks like Rusty had a good enough position. He'll come out behind the 22 of Harold Watkins. Well, one guy that you had talked about earlier that we've kind of not been paying attention to is the 17 of Kevin Zapladell has made his way up to third place. Right now, as we would finish, he would be a podium finisher. But Kevin Zapladell and the 17, Oklahoma City boy right here, running strong and hunting down Nolan Potter, only 4.8, 4.9 seconds back.
Yeah, with Rusty taking the taking a pit side there, that moves Zab up a spot in the top three. So, and maybe puts a little extra drive into him to see if he can go run down Nolan.
Yeah, so, man, I'm really curious. Got a little bit of a battle right here between the 22 and the 6 of Rusty Modesty after coming in and taking that pit stop. Now, mind you, he didn't take tires. Just came in. He did get repairs done, and he did take fuel. So he'll obviously be good no matter what the fuel run is here to the end of the race as he gets around the 22 of Harold Watkins. I'm just wondering if that's the winning or losing strategy right there.
Yeah, I mean, if everybody has to pit now, I mean, that, even with that stop, it jumped Andrew in front of Rusty there. So, that may be the winning move here if everybody has to stop.
Oh, man. Now I'm really curious. I wish I would have asked prior to the race to see if that's, in fact, was going to be an issue tonight. But, heck, you never know. He did it obviously for a reason. Maybe his temps were getting hot. He was in fear of the motor blowing. Who knows? But we'll have to ask him at the end of the race because the way he's running, he is tracking to make his way back up into the top three. He's only 2 positions out. But right now, it's all about the Ryan Bean show. He's across the line. It is 6 laps to go here at Laguna Seca in the U.S. Legends Open Series, brought to you by Potter County Diggers.
Yeah, Ryan's just been, the class of the field tonight. I've kind of been the story as it goes for all road courses, the 2 road courses we've had this year. So nothing new here. Pretty much always been a race for second on these kind of road courses.
Oh, yeah, he did the same thing at Lime Rock, him and Will Brinkley, and that's another driver tonight that is not here. We have a few drivers that were unable to make the trip up to California tonight, which was Chad Biesinger, Will Brinkley. Who else are we missing? Got several drivers that are on the roster but unable to make it tonight. So this is a chance where some of these guys can make up some huge steps in the points as well.
Yeah, I mean, Will not being here tonight, that might really hurt his chances, especially with Ryan being out front so much and looking possibly and very likely to win this race. So that'll just help Ryan extend his points lead over Brinkley.
Yeah, I mean, you got the 5th place standings right now. 5th place stand is Harold Rothery in the 4 car. He is out tonight. We also have Casey Kuntz in the 31, Mark Thibodeau in the 27, and Chad Biesinger in the 23. So we've got some guys that were unable to make it tonight, so this is a good chance for some of them to make up some ground on the points. Let's see what we can find here. Got some battles, but everybody's pretty spread out right now.
Yeah, everybody, I think the closest 2 we have on the tracks, the 2nd place of Nolan Potter and the 3rd place of Kevin Zabladil, but they're 4 seconds apart there. But everybody's just kind of taking their time, just turning laps here with 5 to go. But still makes me question, I understand Andrew pitting, but still makes me question Rusty pitting. Unless Ryan's just planning on coming down with 2 to go or running it till it's almost dry.
Well, we've seen guys do fuel strategy at these races and run out literally on the cool down lap after the checkered flag is thrown. So I'm right there with you. I'm excited to see, 5 laps may sound like a really quick time, but here at Laguna Seca, that's going to be about 10 minutes or about 8 to 10 minutes. And we'll have to see because that's going to be a lot of fuel. These cars They do 100% fuel, but the fuel cells in these little US Legends are only so big.
Yeah, and I mean, the speeds and the RPMs these guys are turning, shifting and the left and right and getting on it and downshifting. Um, it's probably going to burn up more fuel than what you would normally see at an oval track for sure.
Oh yeah, as we ride on board here, watch some of these guys and the way they are having to drive. A lot of shifting here, a lot of braking, so that puts a lot of stress on these cars here at the US Legends. And you have to know this track well, because you have to know exactly when and where to brake, when and where to hit the throttle, and exactly how much you can do. Because we've talked about it for 7 weeks now. These cars are quote unquote twitchy. And I want to interrupt myself here. It looks like we may have an incident with Harold Watkins. Let's go take a look, David. Watch the 22 there in the Big League Chew car. It was running 5th position at the time, I believe. Oh, he just comes in.
Yep.
And he knows he's coming in too hot, so he hits the brakes. Wisely just slows down, because that could have been much worse.
Yeah, it looks like he went to go sit in there to the left-hander and realized it, grabbed the brakes. We even seen it wheel hop there a little bit, and he was able to get it woed up for anything before he just exited stage right of that turn and plowed the wall.
Yeah, as you see Ryan Bean right there in front of the lap traffic of Jerry Culver. We have guys that have just had nights that they wish they could rewind or fast forward, either way, and just get past. Poor Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. I just saw him for a brief second go off the track into the sand again. And, sometimes when you get those frustrating momentum runs where it's like everything you think you're trying to do to get back on track just won't happen.
Yeah, I mean, these cars aren't. You see them on some of the smaller road courses. You hardly ever see them on these big road courses like this. It's normally the tighter, smaller, built into the speedway road courses. So these cars aren't exactly designed for this style of track or this length of track, so to say. So, some of these guys may struggle. Ryan has, been self-proclaimed essentially a road bringer. So, he loves all kinds of road courses. But some of these guys, this may not just fit in their wheelhouse. They may just be, I'm here just to get through it, and please take me to next week.
Well, and I'm going to go take a look here in the replay booth real quick, David, because it looks like Harold Watkins, even though we watched right there him have a little bit of an issue, let's go back and watch him overtake Rusty Modesty to reclaim his 6th position. Let's take a little further back and see what happened with the 6 car here. Come into that corner, just got hot, was trying to use all the rumble strips that he could, but got both right side tires just a little bit off the concrete and got into the loose stuff. Had to baby it back onto the asphalt, but it was enough for the 22 at Harold Watkins to get around him.
Yeah, I believe that's the second or third time Rusty's been off in that portion of the course. That's just
that portion of the course has probably claimed more cars tonight than any.
Yeah, and I think it's seen the 6 car the most. I mean, that's just been a bad corner for him. I don't know if he's just carrying too much speed. It looks like he just gets in there just a little too hot and washes out just a little wide and gets the right sides off in the dirt, and around she comes. But this at least brought us a little battle here as he tries to run Harold Watkins back down.
Yeah, and he's, at this point, when your spotter's telling you 4 to go, 3 to go, 2 to go, you know that time's running out. So you're trying to take advantage of every single corner that you can. 2.2 miles around, so that means we've got, we're inside 2 laps to go. These guys right here are putting on a battle as Ryan Bean's still 31 seconds out over second place of Nolan Potter.
Oh, and there went Harold.
Watkins got loose, checked up, and took a right-handed turn where he shouldn't have yet, and that is going to allow Rusty Modesty to reclaim his 5th position.
And that was in that same section of course.
I'm telling you, all the cars have struggled right there. It's a long straightaway with a little bit of elevation change into 2 hard turns. But if you carry just a hair too much speed and not enough brake, you're done. And there's nowhere to go but the loose stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that for me personally, that corner is hard in any style car. It's just because of the speed, the elevation change, and the dip right in at the apex of the corner. You know, it's just a tricky corner to try to get right, lap in, lap out. As we see Ryan come through here, coming down through the bottom section of the course, getting ready to take the white flag.
Yep, and he'll be taking the white flag here at the U.S. Legends Open Series. Last week's winner, it looks like he'll be repeating it if he can go 2.22 miles again here at Laguna Seca and just keep it out of the dirt. And hell, if he even gets in the dirt, he's got a 49-second lead over second place. I think he'll be okay at this point. But man, has he put on a good show and truly put on a clinic.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he had that dust up with Andrew there in the beginning. Slowed him down, slowed his progress down to the front a little bit. I'd hate to see if he could have started up front and got free early and by himself, just how many cars he could have lapped. He's already lapped up through seventh and is within probably 10 seconds of sixth place to Harold Watkins. It's
That's
almost
dominating.
scary. Yeah, it's almost scary to think of how far he could have got if he'd have started up front.
That is exactly right, folks. Well, it is. It seems like we just started this show, but it's over. Essentially, we are on the white flag, the final lap here at Laguna Seca, as it has been the Ryan Bean show. Essentially, these guys. I don't think anybody else out here had anything for this guy. I'm curious to see if Will Brinkley was here. If he is a road course ace and would have had anything for Ryan. And this is including Ryan and Andrew Little getting together a little bit early in the race. But as you see right here, it's been all Ryan Bean here on the final lap.
Yep, he's going to come down here in turn 11, make that hard left-hander, and open it up and
Wow.
bring it down here to the checker flag. A little bit of celebratory there for the crew as he comes down the straightaway.
That's right. Ryan Bean knows he's won a 51-second lead. Now, as you take a look at the tower on your left-hand side there, their names are kind of faded out in the background, and it's not until these drivers cross that start-finish line will their name get highlighted. It's going to take 51 seconds for our second place, Nolan Potter, to get to that point, as he is still finishing up the end of the course there. But what a great finish for him. A couple little incidents. But still, great podium finish for Nolan Potter. And then right behind him, Kevin Zabladell, the OKC boy, doing a great job fighting all the way back up to third place, getting him a podium finish tonight as well at Laguna Seca.
Yeah, we talked about him early. You know, he had the one spin, but then, you know, he was Mr. Consistent from there on out. And that consistency netted him a third place finish tonight.
That's right. And it'll take these guys a while to do the cool down lap because we're just now getting third place to cross the start finish line. Ryan Bean literally had a minute head start, a minute gap between first and third place, our final podium finisher tonight at the U.S. Legends Open Series. As Andrew Little now across the line in fourth, unofficially, and fifth place. Let's go take a look and see if Rusty Modesty can close it out tonight. It looks like he will, where he has been front back incident recovery, doing a great job, but he'll get him a good fifth place finish tonight. And right behind him, last car in the lead lap, Harold Watkins in the 22 as he crosses the line in sixth place.
Yeah, it looks like that right front seen better days, but good showing by him to battle back and take that sixth place tonight.
That is right. Well, folks, you saw it all live here on Evolution Racing Network on our YouTube page. As you see right there, Ryan Bean getting his fourth victory out of 8 races. So he has won 50% of the races this season at the U.S. Legends Open Series, and his second back-to-back. Doing a great job. Next week, though, this it could kind of get turned up a little different, because we head to Concord, another short track, for another 125 laps, David.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, Concord's essentially a mini Pocono. It's got 3 turns, correct?
Yeah, it's a very odd-shaped track. Corners are all very unique. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how these guys attack it. But while we let these guys celebrate and burn it down and tear up those motors and a whole set of tires, let's go take and pay some bills, folks, and we'll be right back with you with your podium finishers.
Casey's calling me over. Says you
The story's on it. Who's that?
have done. Oh, I got it! I got it! Oh my God! I'm back. Look at this bad boy.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Hey, brother. Kevin Zabladell finishing third place tonight. Wow. I didn't think I would see the day, but I'm just playing with you, man. Congratulations. Hell of a run tonight. I thought if we had some cautions, you would have had a chance to win this one. You were smooth.
Man, you ever heard that story about the blind squirrel that found the nut? That's how I felt tonight.
Hey, we kept checking in on you. You didn't get a lot of TV time because you weren't making a lot of mistakes. Ryan Bean absolutely dominated the show, but Nolan Potter, was up front, had a few incidents, got shuffled back, had a mid-pack, and just consistently worked your way up. Did you have fun, or was it nerve-wracking?
That was a lot of fun. There was a couple close moments, but you wouldn't know it by his on-track performance tonight. Rusty told me when I was first getting into road racing, the key is just to finish. Don't go off course, and he did it to himself. I think he actually ran out of fuel at one point, and then went off course. And I still was worried about him catching me. I got to thank Andrew Little for wrecking early and having to come in for a fast repair, because I think he would have been podium if not.
Well, we saw Rusty do the same thing. Rusty's running second place, been up front in the top three for 99% of the race, and then all of a sudden we saw him come. We actually had the camera on him and Nolan Potter, and he came into pit road, so that we assumed that
he ran out of fuel.
See, that's what I thought. David and I were talking, and we were wondering what the fuel run was going to be. But I never saw Ryan Bean pit. I didn't see you pit. Several of the guys, actually. Kevin Dowd, I didn't see a bunch of them pit. So was it all about trying to save as much as you could? Was it that close?
Yeah, it was fairly close, and also just having a good crew chief that can calculate well. I think his kind of let him down tonight, and told him a gallon too shy. So
wow,
a gallon goes a long way in these little cars.
Boy, you ain't lying. Well, brother, congratulations on another podium finish. Doing a great job in this series. As hard as these cars are and as hard as these tracks are, you make it look easy. But before we let you go and celebrate, anybody you want to give a shout out to, any thank you, sponsor plugs, the mic is yours.
Thanks Rusty for putting on this league. Like I said last week, these are fun, unique cars, and Anybody who's looking for a good league to join, we're talking about maybe season 2, even changing it up and doing something like sprint cars or something a little different. So, we're all about doing unique stuff and kind of letting people sample everything that iRacing has to offer. So, just encourage you guys to check that out, and obviously Evolution Racing Network for giving us the broadcast every week. It's awesome to have a top tier broadcast that gives us a place to show everything that we do. So hope everybody enjoyed the show.
Man, I appreciate it. Well, Kevin, have a great week. Look forward to next week at Concord, and see if we can't get you a victory out next week at the short track.
Concord's coming up. I'm going to be pretty religious to that track. I'm just saying.
Well, brother, you have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Thanks, brother. That was your third place finisher, Kevin Dabley, down on the 17 car. Good solid finish for him tonight, and that'll help him out in the points as well. Well, I think David has our second place, our favorite styrofoam cup, the 34, Nolan Potter.
Nolan, it's Ryan and David up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, David.
Well, Nolan brought her home second tonight. Pretty. You had a slightly eventful race there for a little bit, but for the most part, smooth and headed the right direction. So, what was your take on it tonight?
It was good. When Ryan first wrecked, I was like, "All right, got a chance," and then he worked his way back, and then he was gone. So it was good. I wrecked myself. I feel bad. I wrecked myself on Jerry. I kind of went up the track on him and turned myself. But got it back going, and it worked out in the end. It was a fun race. Very It was different racing Laguna Seca there with the Legends cars. A little bit slower than what you're used to running there, but it was fun. Overall, it was a fun race.
I'm glad you brought that up, because we went back and seen the replay, and us up here in the booth, from what we could tell, looked like you had a little help with Jerry, but you're saying you wrecked yourself on him, so that's good to clear that, because we were looking, the way it looked on our end, looked like he helped you off in that corner just a little bit.
I felt like I watched it, and I think I actually drifted up into him. I should have given him more room, because I kind of moved down a little bit and then moved back up, so that's my fault there. So.
Yeah, no harm, no foul. You got it going back in the right direction. Didn't lose too many spots. I don't even think you lost a spot there on that one. But we're going to Concord next week. Little unique track. So, what are your thoughts about that one?
I really like Concord. I ran a lot there in different classes, and I ran quite a bit there in Legends. So, hopefully, I can keep it dialed in, and we'll see how it goes.
All right, so you heard it here, guys. Nolan Potter for the win next week. He's going ahead and calling it, talking it out there. But like you said, congratulations on your second place finish tonight. Before we let you go, anybody you want to thank or give a shout out to?
I just want to give a shout out to my teammate Harold. Practiced a little bit this week, and give a shout out to my family. So.
Well, there you have it, folks. Nolan Potter finished second, and go out there and enjoy that one.
Well, that Nolan Potter right there, confident and knows what he thinks he's going to go out there and do. So I really do. I know he might have been a little joking there, but I really do hope he goes out there and puts on a show for us next week at Concord, because this track is going to be interesting for a lot of guys. It's not your typical short track like we've been running all season. So let's go and see if we have got, I think we do. We have got our winner tonight. Again, the man, the myth, the legend, the one that has dominated, Ryan Bean. Ryan Bean, this is Ryan and David up in the RN booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
What's happening, brother? Another dominating show tonight.
Yeah, that started the way I didn't want it to. Bad qualifying, spun out, and then me and Andrew getting into it there. I hate it messed his race up, but glad to see him bounce back and show off the speed I knew I had.
Well, excuse me, you did great, both you guys, actually. You know, the only difference was between the two of you was he actually went in and took a pit stop maybe 3 to 4 or 5 laps after y'all's initial incident. But then he came out, was running really consistent times, making up some good ground. But you didn't have any hard contact, so you were able to just get it turned, get it straight, and boy, did you start clicking them off left and right. You came back out fourth after that, and within a few laps, you were taking the lead and checked out, probably to the most dominating finish we have seen all season long, 52 seconds over second place. What do you guys say about that, man?
Yeah, I mean, I really love road courses. You know, I think you got to be consistent and, you know, headstrong, and those are the two things I'd like to pride myself on. You know, I'm not always the fastest at every track, but I'd like to think I can click the same lap time, you know, for 50, 40 laps, whatever it is. But really, the main issue, I didn't realize Andrew hit the wall there, so that's why I was wondering why he didn't have damage. I had straight line speed deficit, so not by much, but a little bit. The only problem was I was behind Zab for a couple laps, and you know him. He just kept saying, I wasn't gonna finish the race and all this, and he was the worst part of the race for me. Just those 2 laps behind him.
Hey, we've all been there. Trust me. I have been in that position with him many a times where it's either he's behind me, in front of me, or side of me. And I'd rather be running next to a pace car going backwards than running next to Zab Liddell on a track. So I can only imagine your nervousness as you go through there. But you did a great job, man, getting through the field and really putting on a clinic. Fast forward to next week, we go to Concord, a very unique track in its own right, for another short one and 125 laps. What's your experience with this track? This is probably one of the more obscure ones on the iRacing server. You don't see a lot of leagues go there. Is there a big strategy difference between this one and, say, Thompson, Lanier, Charlotte Legends, or is it similar?
I honestly, I can confidently sit here and tell you I've never actually done a race there. I think I've turned maybe 2-3 laps when I first got on the service like 6 years ago. But I know it's a triangle and I know it's banked, so I think it's gonna be fast, but it's gonna be a lot of patience, because I think the way you're gonna have to set up the car, it's gonna be very very twitchy, very pointy, hard to correct, and I think it's gonna be fun. Obviously these cars they're slowly becoming my favorite car in the game. It's just so fun to set it up and race it, especially with these group of guys. But hopefully just a little more, I don't want to sound like a jerk, but hopefully there's a little more competition next week. I'm sure there will be.
Oh yeah, you got some drivers that were unable to make it tonight that, who knows, they gave you a run for your money on a road course, like Will Brinkley, Casey Kuntz, Chad Singer.
Casey for sure. I know Casey would have been right there. I was hoping he was going to be here tonight, but I think he's got other things, but that's all right. He'll be there next week too. I know it.
Absolutely. Well, brother, again, this is becoming a weekly deal, talking to you in victory lane, or at least on the podium. Congratulations, your 4th win of the season, which makes you winning 50% of all the races in this league up to this point. So we've got, we're through the halfway point. This was our first race on the back half of the season. So it looks like you've got momentum on your side with 2 races with victories in them in the last 2 weeks. So congratulations. And before we let you go and celebrate, is there anybody you'd like to give any shout outs, thank yous, sponsor plugs? The mic is yours.
Yeah, first off, as always, Rusty, putting on this great league, man, every week. Yeah, I say it every time, but it's true. It just gets better and better, and these guys race with, they're fun, respectable, and I like seeing them all get quicker too, and I'm doing everything I can to help them, and they're learning, and I love it. You guys up in the booth, best broadcast group I've ever raced for, and it's gonna be fun. Looking forward to next week.
Awesome. Well, brother, I appreciate the kind words. We really enjoy calling these races. They're a lot of fun, super fast paced, and a great group of guys. You guys make it easy to call. So have a great week, and we look forward to talking to you next week, brother.
Yes, sir. Have a good night, guys.
All right. You too, Ryan. Well, that was your winner right there, Ryan Bean. I wouldn't call that arrogance. I wouldn't call it cocky, or, like he said. I just think he's good. You get a guy like that has had 2 wins back-to-back, has won 50% of the season. I want to see somebody go up there and put a bumper to him and challenge him to get out there and either race better or watch a true battle. So I look forward to next week. David, how about you?
Oh yeah, man, I can't wait. Like I said, it's a unique track in itself, and I'd like to see maybe a Nolan Potter or Kevin Zabladil get up there and get that shot at Ryan. He's
Absolutely
him and Will have kind of battled it out on front half of the season, but it'd be nice to see some of these guys that are running consistent, top 3, top 5, get up there and have that shot. I know several of them, if they get that chance, they're going to use that bumper and move him out of the way.
Oh, absolutely, and I would in a heartbeat. And it's there's a lot of talent within this league. Everybody just needs their shot at it. Like you said, Nolan, Kevin Zabladell, Andrew Little, Rusty Modesty, Harold Watkins, Kevin Dowd, all of them. They really it could be any race, anybody's night at any track they go to. So, well, let's take a look at your final finishing order here. Let's get out of the replay mode. Well, looks like it's not going to participate for me. There it goes. Your race winner tonight, the 28 Orion Bean. In second, Nolan Potter in the 34 car. Third, Kevin Zabladell in the 17. Dick Little finishing up in the 68 car. And fourth, Rusty Modesty, league owner, battling back to a great top 5 tonight in the 6 car, finishing 5th. David, take us the rest of the way.
Harold Watkins in the 22 finishing 6th. We've seen him have a couple of incidents there at the end, so it was nice to see him to come away with a 6th place finish. Kevin Dowd, kind of quiet tonight, finishing 7th. Jerry Culver in the 13 finishing 8th. Robert Fitzpatrick in the 48, or Robert Fitzpatrick Sr., apologize, in the 48, finishing 9th. Michael Martino in the 3, rounding out the top 10. We've seen Robert Fitzpatrick Jr. in the 5 have, just a really bad night tonight, finishing 11th. And Noah Haslip did not make the grid, did not start, and will be credited for the 12th place finish.
Well, and that is your finishing order tonight here at Laguna Seca in the U.S. Legends Open Series. I want to personally thank everybody for coming out tonight. We had an absolute blast calling the race. And before we send this off, David, do you have any final thoughts?
I think the race turned out kind of how we thought it would. We were hoping maybe Andrew would, and Ryan would have had a little more competition from Andrew or somebody, but Ryan's been the self-proclaimed road ringer all year, so I think we knew how this one was going to end, and glad to see some of the guys that don't normally finish up in the top half of the field finish there tonight. And looking forward to getting back home, back on the East Coast in Concord next week, and see what we can do out there.
Well, that's it, folks. You heard it right there from David Edwards. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Well, I'm Ryan Ezel, and for myself and David Edwards here at Evolution Racing Network, we want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. If you haven't already done it, you're watching on our YouTube page or our Facebook page, go give us a follow, give us a like. Make sure you turn on your notifications so that way anytime we go live, any day of the week, you'll get notified. We're always doing contests, giveaways, and we don't want you to miss out on 1 second of it. But until next time, we want to thank each and every one of you guys, and tune in to, Thursday night for Thursday Night Throwdown doubleheader, ARCA and Truck Series right here on YouTube on Evolution Racing Network, and then we'll start it all over again next week with the same roundabout Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Till then, have a great week, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Later, guys.
Don't you